So yeah, this is the Mob Tiff podcast. Just three niggas,
In a van.
three nerds, hip hop heads,
And then a meteor hit.
you know, and they ran as fast as they could. But hey, that aside,
We're
just
live.
some of the realest niggas alive, and we just figuring our shit on it.
And we're live.
Yeah.
What you guys
Alright, so
what's going on?
thing is, I had like a topic. Well, I've got like two topics in particular, but
Yes.
then Trashford then told me about how y'all niggas are gonna get load shedding a bit later, and then that also got me thinking about, you know, that like Eskom is now thinking of charging people for having solar panels.
What?
Nigga, that's what
You can't be serious.
bro.
I thought they already
So-
had-
Nah,
So
I have
like-
a solar geyser, and as far as I know, we don't get charged extra for that. That's so.
So
oh my
the way it
days.
works, right? The way it works, right, is there's like two ways you can do it if you want, like, because transport, bro, it's only your geyser that's solar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you're, from what I understand, if your house is powered by solar energy,
Oh.
you'll still have the grid as backup, right?
Yeah.
But then obviously, since you have the grid as backup, only as backup, then you're paying a lot less.
Yeah.
So now, because of that, Eskom wants to charge niggas more for only using the grid as backup.
Oh, like a flat rate. I guess that, like, technically speaking, that does kind of make sense. But it better
Nah,
not be.
nigga.
It better not be some outrageous numbers. That's all I'm
It
saying.
probably,
From a
it
business
probably-
standpoint, especially since Eskom monopolizes the electricity, like in South Africa,
Mhm.
it does make sense to me why they would do
Wait,
this,
so
because
it
no
makes
one
sense.
can challenge
More?
them.
than you would if you were using
that's
normal
the thing,
electricity.
What?
yeah, it's like you. It's what's that phrase? Damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation now.
Yeah.
And the only way you can really get out of it is essentially go off the grid and make your house fully self-sustaining, right? And you're gonna need
Ah.
a few more. You're gonna need a few more things for that. And I was looking at the numbers, and in order to do that, you'll need somewhere around 350K to get all of that done. And
It kind of adds up,
that
though.
shit, that type of investment, because like it's a long-term type of investment type of thing.
Yeah.
Because like only down the line will it eventually be like, okay, then like a decade or two down the line, then it's gonna be like, yeah, like add everything up,
Yeah.
you're paying less than you would have if you stayed on Eskom. So it's like you need to be willing to put up that investment up front if you've got like
Exactly.
the cash to do so. And that's what I want to do, honestly, bro. I
Yeah,
want to go
dude.
off the grid. I want to go off the grid.
That would be something I would do, like when I get rich, like just, especially if I have that amount of cash ready to just do that, then I think that would be really cool.
I think I'd like to do that in general as well. Like, I don't want to be relying on food, like grocery stores. I don't want to be relying on all that stuff, bro. I want to be living off my own
Exactly.
land.
Exactly,
Have
bro.
a farm
Just
type of thing.
call
Exactly.
a farm, you know, have a little pond in there,
Yeah.
water purified,
Some sheep,
doing your own thing, you know.
some tanks.
Well, that's gonna be so much admin, honestly.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm gonna have to hire
long term,
workers,
We
but
almost stayed on the farm, actually.
what was that?
I was saying when I was younger, we almost stayed on the farm. Like when I was 12, I was
Ah,
around 12 or something when we were living in East London. My parents were about to buy a farm.
what do you mean
Then
almost?
I
though?
don't know, some things didn't fall through.
Oh, they were gonna buy it. Wow.
Yeah, like
That's
we were
kinda
gonna
cool.
live there.
That's
We were gonna be like farmer kids.
cold. But like, what were they still gonna be doing like their regular jobs? You guys just happen to be living on a farm.
I think
Yeah.
they were. Yeah, I think they were gonna hire people like to take
Run the
care.
farm.
Obviously, they were gonna make us do some work as well, but think they were gonna have their jobs that they have, their sources of income other than the farm. Then they hire like people to like take care of the farm and.
I'm
Trash, bro. What's up?
I didn't, bro. So usually what I did, like with the pilot episode, I cut the audio. I stopped the audio after recording it for a little bit, and I test to see if everything's good, like the levels. I didn't do that this time. So I am hoping there's no like weird, weird noise and stuff. Hold on, hold on.
Alright.
We're back to. Yeah. There's gonna be a difference in my audio. I think yours will be good. But yeah, I'll just put a notice. Alright.
But yeah, like Pierre, bro. I feel like I'd be like down for that, like living on a farm. But like as Transport was saying, it would have to be fully self-sustaining. And I want to like read up on all the like measures that you need to take in order to have that like happen. Because like not depending on the government sounds like it slaps.
Literally, bro.
Because it's like you did as paying these niggas to stay alive. That's so tough.
Yeah.
But governments generally just like that. Like the fact that what really like freaked me out was but coming to the realization that even when you die, you still have to pay them like the funeral services and you have insurance that you pay for in the case that you die, so that your family can still be taken care of and get something out of that. You have to buy caskets. You have to pay for like the grave that you're gonna
occupy.
You're gonna occupy, and it's just like at that point, like I'm dead. Like at that point, why do I still need to be paying for stuff?
Dude, even I saw when I got a new contract, there's an option where you pay extra so that when you die, they don't charge it on your family members. Like the contract just ends. And I was like, that's such a messed up, like, who's going to be, no one's using that phone, no one's using the airtime, just cancel my contract.
Bro.
That's so messed up.
That's why I gotta sit down. Because it's like, the fact of the matter is, we dead ass need insurance in our lives. Because shit really could hit the fan. And it's like, niggas are always thinking that it's not gonna be them. But it's like, somebody needs to make up those statistics, bro. And like, I wanna just sit down with a broker at some point so that nigga can tell me what all the right moves are to make in terms of like insurance and which niggas are gonna scam me, which niggas is gonna steal most of my cash with very little return and all of that. And it's like, damn, bro, there's so much admin that goes into just being alive and then dead as well. It's like, I didn't even know.
Ain't that the truth,
At
bro?
what point does it end?
Yeah.
In reality, it doesn't, because your children will grow up and they'll be under you. Normally, people enter like a minimum, a small amount of debt, like paying off something, whether it be their car, their mortgage, or whatever. And should they die early, or should they not have enough, retirement funds left over, that debt is just gonna be carried over, bruh. And that's a bit tough. Unless it's like your brothers, and I'm not actually sure how that stuff works, to be honest, because it might be like it goes to the next person financially able to pay it off in your like family. So it could go to like your brother or like your sister or something like that.
Yeah, genuinely, I want to read up so much on these things because it's terrifying shit, honestly. And I want to just get to a point where I can make money while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, literally.
Fuck.
Why does that sound so hard? Yeah, dude.
How do you guys feel about that though? Like just death in general? Like what's your philosophical opinions on it?
Transport, you want to go first?
I mean, I don't think about it, to be honest. There was a point in my life where I was constantly wondering what happens, what's next, and I heard some wise words from a friend of mine. He told me he's a drug addict, but he told me not really, but it was some wise
That's
words.
low key an oxymoron, bro. Well, based on societal standards, like
Yeah,
you don't expect to hear those two words together.
literally.
A wise friend of mine, he was a drug addict.
But yeah, he told me because I used to think about it. Sometimes I would like stay awake thinking about what happens next. How do I live my life planned for that? And in reality, there's no way you can live your life planned for the afterlife, bro. There's no way you can know what death brings, whether it's painful, whether it's painless, whether it's tranquil, whether it's like a horrifying experience. You just got to live your life, and death comes eventually for everyone. And that's my attitude towards it. Like, I pay it no mind because me paying it mind isn't gonna change it.
I feel like for me, I'm on some. I know that it's gonna happen regardless, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not really scared of dying at all because it's like ain't shit I can do about that. Whatever date is written, even if it's like my death is by my own, like caused by my own actions, say like reckless driving or something like, I don't know, what's it, alcohol abuse or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
It's like even like those events are already kind of written, bro. Them shits is gonna happen, you know. Like ain't
Exactly.
shit that I can do to change it. So it's like I don't stress about it at all. It's just a thing of like I know I'm gonna die. I just hope that everybody that like I leave on earth after I'm dead is straight. You know?
Yeah.
Because like I want to get to a point in my life where I'm able to surmise, you know, and be like if I were to disappear, I wouldn't have to worry about anybody's well-being and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's where my concern goes with regards to the events around my death. But my actual death and death as a concept, I really don't care, bro. What about you,
Yeah.
Pierre?
I share the sentiments.
Yeah, I kind of agree. But when I was a lot younger, like it took me a while to like come to that conclusion. I remember when I was younger, the first like idea I even had of death was when I was at a funeral, and then like our great grandmother died, and then my mom was like, "It's okay, it happens. Like even one day you're gonna die." And I don't know, I think I was like 5 when she said that, and ever
She
since then,
said that to you at
yeah, she was
5.
like,
That is morbid, bro.
I think she was trying
Yeah.
to like, introduce me
Yeah.
to the idea and like tell me that it's okay because it's a natural process of life that
Yeah.
happens to everyone.
Makes sense.
But the way she went about it, I don't think, if anything, I think it had the opposite effect because like I hadn't stopped thinking about it. Like I still remember that memory even today. I'd never
Yeah.
stopped thinking about it for a while. Like everything I did, all my actions would revolve around damn. Like, because even when we were at school and like going to church, and they always talk about heaven and hell. Like hell used to, as any like kid who grows up Catholic, I think, or Christian, I think you're introduced to the idea of hell. It like freaks you out. You always
Yeah.
want to like live your life so that you don't end up there. Like, that's what I did for the longest time. But then at some point, I think I just came to the conclusion that, like, the idea itself, like, I don't know. I think at some point I just came to the conclusion that maybe this thing isn't even real. Like, but that's a whole nother religious discussion. So, and I was just like, if I were to just like become nothing, like I die and then nothing happens after that, and there is nothing after that, I'd be chilled with that. Then the idea of nothingness started to freak me out as well because it's so like I don't
It's
know what.
unfathomable, bro.
It's so weird how like you can just live your whole life. Like, you stress about a bunch of shit. You stress about a test. You stress about this girl that you like. And, like that stress will like will you like the anxiety of it. It'll like take over your whole life. And out of nowhere, all those thoughts and emotions just don't exist anymore. As if like it wasn't even that big of a deal. And like the idea of that, how something can just not exist anymore is also started to freak me out for a while. But I think after some time, I came to a similar conclusion of like it's gonna happen whether you want it or not, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. So like,
exactly,
what is the point of worrying about it all?
Exactly.
And it's like
that's easy to say at times, but like
yeah.
It's easy. Like some days I'll be like, yeah, like I'm chill with it, and then other days I'll just be like, yo, I don't know what would happen. Like I don't know how I'd feel about it. Like one day I just get extreme anxiety about it. Like yo, like I'm just not gonna exist anymore. Like what is that even? But I guess that's just life. You kind of just roll with it.
Like, would you niggas want to know when you die?
Nah, I don't think so.
I wouldn't want to know any of that information. But I mean, if I'm actually, to be honest, I feel like I'd handle that news well. But obviously, you can't like until you see that date on like a piece of paper. Like it could be tomorrow, and then that would change my whole perspective. Like I would just go outside right now, take my mom's car, and just drive into the sunset. Something like that. But I don't know. Like when I think about it, I'm always like, it's good to know something. It would be cool to know something like that because, you're not really living until you realize when you die. Yeah, and like, I feel like, I don't know. A lot of my life I've just been existing, bro. I feel like I've probably only been living for a couple of months in total, all in all. Like probably not even a year, probably just shy. And like as soon as you find out something like that, everything goes to the wind. Caution goes to the wind. Paranoia is gone, and you wanna make your last moments fulfilling. But once again, like it's easy to talk in hypotheticals until you actually say that date, and then you have an existential crisis. You have to get taken into a psychiatric ward, and that's like that could be the reason you die, bro. Mental illness.
It's one of those things where it's like knowing when you're gonna die, you're gonna inevitably because of that, and depending on how you take it, you could be the cause of your own death. Because
exactly, you could be setting that date in stone.
Dead ass.
I feel like people. Sorry, Tshego, but I was gonna say I feel like people who get like some terminal illness, get diagnosed with a terminal illness, probably like ask themselves that question as well. Like it's a similar situation because, I mean, you can always survive, but essentially it's like, damn, now I know like I might not make it out. I'm not gonna like live that long. Like there's a date that might.
Like if the doctor's like you've got so and so months left to live, like I wonder what's going through your mind at that point because you've got that date in your head. Like with us, it's so like at best we've got maybe 70 more years to live, but like again, one of us could die tomorrow, honestly, and we don't. But then like somebody who's got because I remember watching this video of, I forget how old he was. I think maybe he was like 9, 10. This boy who had cancer, and he was just trying to get YouTube. Like he was just making YouTube videos and trying to get like his YouTube, his subscriber count up and all of that. And In one of
Yeah.
his videos, he was like, he's not gonna be around soon, and it was tough because it's like a
Damn.
little kid, and he did pass away. I think a few
Oh,
weeks or a few months after that, and it's like a little kid accepting that kind of reality. I wonder what's like the shit that's going through his head, honestly, because that shit, like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like, is it? Did he take it well? Is this shit fucking him up? Is it like it's one of those things that you can't know until like it happens to you? That's trippy.
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah. I don't know. Whenever I watch like, I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
Bro, that was one of my favorite movies.
It's
That
I've
John
not.
was
same here.
you need to
Well,
scope it.
essentially it's just about this guy who meets this girl. It's one of those stories where like this guy meets this girl and he realizes that she has cancer and like he spends the last few days of her life with her and then like he realizes what like the importance of actually living and experience life is through the time spent with that girl who like this, it's one
Yeah.
of those things.
Oh, like that new movie that Jaden Smith's in.
That's the plot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what.
Oh, the one with Cara Delevingne.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
plot.
Except,
And like,
except,
what is it called? The Notebook.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
essentially
Except in this one,
similar
it's
plot.
even in the quote of the movie, right? Because like
Yeah.
the main character, I think, yeah, his name is Greg. He's like he narrates to the audience every now and again. So it's like it's similar to those movies, but
Mm.
it's not in the sense that this nigga, like he said straight up, this is not a romantic comedy, and it wasn't. Like
Ah.
him and this hun don't get together or anything like that. It's just he learns to because he was fairly unappreciative of life in
Spoiler alert
general.
for anyone listening, by the way.
Oh yeah,
We kind of already, it's
but it's
okay.
like for anybody who is listening, just check out that movie if you haven't. It's
Yeah, it's a really good.
Yeah, just pause it right here. Watch the movie.
Come back.
And then come back. And then come back. Make sure you come back.
but yeah, bro. Like it's just
Yeah.
because he was so um, unappreciative of life, and it was like through her and her experiences and all of that that he learned that that like this shit can be ass, honestly, but it only happens once as far as we know. I mean, I don't know, bro. Maybe reincarnation
Yeah.
is a thing, or maybe, but like as far
Yeah,
as we know,
that cricket I stomped out earlier could have been could have been some nigga I knew back in the day.
And he just wanted to hang out with you, bro. That was the case.
I might have done him dirty, bro. What if I did him dirty and he's like, "Yeah, nigga, I found your crib. I'm about to make it. You're never gonna sleep again."
that's actually so trippy to me because like if people do get reincarnated as animals, imagine like being reincarnated into like a chicken in a chicken farm.
Yo,
That's not be it.
that is horrible, bro.
That's genuine torture,
Yeah.
my nigga. Honestly.
I always say it, bro. If I were to be reincarnated, I'd want to be a shrimp.
Oh, so you can see like how many colors do them niggas see?
More than that,
I have
right?
no idea.
Their
I think it's
color
like
spectrum is a lot bigger than ours.
yeah. I just know they see a lot more than us, like a significant amount. And I'd probably be too dumb to realize what I'm looking at, but it would be a vibe.
Dumb. That's so tough, bro. You guys,
I've never looked into it. I don't know if shrimps, I don't know their intelligence
yeah,
level.
I don't think it's that. But that's the thing. I don't
Yeah.
know, bro. Like animals, it's hard to fathom like what not having sentience is like. Like I can't be like, man,
Yeah.
it probably sucked to be a shrimp, but at the same time, it's like maybe they just experience life
Oh,
differently.
that's
Exactly. It's just a bunch of instincts in a body.
yeah. And it's like
And that's why it's so freaky, bruh.
Mhm.
Like
Like,
hearing monkeys that can write, that can do maths, that can do sign language. Like it's I don't know, bro. Ever since I watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that has been my biggest fear. because it's just so
It
it seems so probable. It seems like something that could actually happen.
and it really could. Movies like that,
Yeah.
movies like maybe not Planet of the Apes specifically, but like I don't know. You guys
Like
ever think you're gonna
apocalyptic
become
type shit.
vegetarian or
Like
think
I'll become vegetarian or vegan when I've got the cash to. At this point,
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
It's too much of an
Exactly.
expensive
And it's
lifestyle.
also like at this point, I don't have enough money where vegetables slap. It's
Yeah.
like meat just goes in for the budget that I have at the moment. I
Exactly.
don't want to be eating these like roided up chickens and cows and shit. But damn, these niggas go in. So,
They taste good, bro. They taste good. That polony.
you know, they just going in.
different. So it's like when I'm at a point where it's like I can comfortably, because it's like also I want to have a positive relationship with food. I want to enjoy what I'm eating. I don't want to just eat
Exactly.
for the sake of staying alive.
Yeah.
That's not living, you know. And
That's existing.
exactly. So it's like I would
Yeah.
once I've got like once I've got like the cash to do so.
Mm.
Yeah.
I always think that too. Like meat just slaps so much that I don't think I could ever give it up. I don't know. My sister's vegetarian, and like she kind of opened my eyes on it. Like I think she's pescatarian now, just because it's expensive, and like I think it was easier for my parents to be able to at least get her fish she can eat every now and then, and not just meat. But yeah,
Yeah, the problem is, bro, if you're in a black family and you say you're going vegetarian, it's not like they're gonna change the meals for you. They're just not gonna add meat to your meal. It's gonna be the same meal. So if you're having pap and wors, you're just gonna have pap. And I'm not ready for that, bro.
and
I am
bro,
not ready for
that's
that.
literally how it is with my sister. Like they bought her like vegetarian patties and like some
Yeah.
vegetarian sausages as well that she eats. For the most part, they don't cook for her anymore. She was like, I'm not
I don't know, bro.
like
Like,
or anything, but she was just like, it's easier to just cook for myself. Like, because the thing
Yeah.
is, you can't, like, she can't even eat the rice sometimes, or not the rice, but like, let's say,
The gravy.
gravy, yeah, because it's cooked in the
Yeah.
same thing. And obviously, if it's cooked in
Is that how strict she is with it?
yeah, like she won't.
Like my dad is pescatarian where you only eat fish,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he's been pescatarian for like 8 years or
damn.
maybe wait, what year is it? It's 2021.
Yeah.
He's been pescatarian since like 2010, so 11 years.
Wait, so transport, bro.
Yeah, and
Like,
Yeah.
well, transport and like Pierre. What was like the motives behind both of them deciding to do that? Was it just because they wanted to, or
I think-
like religiously motivated?
yeah, I think
What?
he just wanted to. Like there was this time where he was really like he bought a lot of books on Buddhism. And he read them, and like he had like these Buddhist recipe books and stuff like that. And he's not like Buddhist. I don't even know what he is, to be honest. He might be Christian. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I think that when he was reading those books on Buddhism and like Buddhist practices and stuff like that, he was like he's gonna change like what he eats and stuff like that, because like you said, Tshego, these roided up chickens, these roided up cows, I'd rather not be eating
Exactly. Why do
them.
they-
But since I ain't got the cash, they
And
go
it's also
dumb.
like,
Like
bro,
the taste is immaculate.
I gotta keep it a buck. Black people really know how to spice up their meat. It
Exactly.
just be hit,
Pizza nyama. Ew.
bro.
Nah,
So hey,
that just goes in. But for my
But yeah, I think he just did it just for just. I've even asked him on multiple occasions, like, when are you, if you've done this just for just, is there gonna be a time when you like you go back to meat? And he's like, I don't know, I'm just eating, you know. And that's a cool way to look at
honestly.
it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Pierre.
I think she. I think the initial thing was she watched the video about like how food is processed or how meat is processed and stuff, and I think that that fucked her up. Well, not fucked her up, but like
Yeah.
I think it was enough of a shock for her to be like, nah, I can't eat this stuff anymore. And I think after some time it became an animal thing where it's like she doesn't like the systematic way we kill and process and slaughter animals. Like, you know how they were speaking about it on Hunter x Hunter, Meruem, he was like, with like they're not gonna kill off humanity, the ants, they're not gonna kill off humanity, but they're gonna create essentially like they're gonna farm human beings like the same way we do with cows and other pigs and stuff like that. And I think it's with a lot of vegetarians, I think it's and vegans, I think it's the same idea. Like I don't think they fuck with the way we systematically like kill animals and like, slaughter them and stuff. It's kind of inhumane, like the way we do it.
Very, bro. Like
it is inhumane.
I'd be all for, and I'm still honestly all for eating animals just because it's good for your diet, and you know, it's all about how you do it, and because it's like, for one thing, the treatment, like we were saying, is just awful, and it's also so excessive. We don't need the amount of meat that we have in the world. If better treatment of these animals meant that like the production of meat went down and like meat prices went up so that they could have better living conditions, and I'd be like, oh, what? Like that's a fair trade, honestly. Because it's like not eating meat just for like, nigga, as long as you treat these animals properly, I feel like, yeah, eat them. And it's also like, I don't want to be eating, because like, if you niggas know about like cloning meat and shit, it's like, I don't want to be eating that from the basis of, that's just excessive, bro. At what point are we gonna oh yeah. Now I'm just saying, like, at what point are we gonna like stop trying to be God? Like, nigga, there really is no need for us to cloning a whole ass cow.
Genuinely, bro.
Why?
I don't understand the like splicing goat and goat and spider DNA. It's strange. I guess it's actually pretty cool though. Like, because the goat milk that it produced had like spider threads woven in it. And like, I feel like they were trying to make a step in the direction of being able to make webs, like basically what Spider-Man uses, and use it for like construction and stuff like that.
That makes sense, exactly. But it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, stepping into
everything else,
stepping into a world where like being Spider-Man is plausible. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
But, like, there's no need.
Just imagine how twisted everyone, like, web shooters would be like drugs, essentially. People would be like, hey, I got some web shooters for you, my nigga. And then they like, niggas wouldn't have guns, bro. They'd just go to the bank on some, bro, you will suffocate if I shoot this on your face. Now give me the money.
It's like, I feel like people just calm the fuck down, honestly, on this. Even like technological advancements in terms of like transport and everything. Personally, I don't think we need to go to Mars. Why, nigga? I mean, it's cool.
Like we just need to sustain life on Earth, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, once everything here is dope and sustained and whatever, fine. Like, if you niggas want to go to space, cool. But can we fix what's happening?
Exactly.
Here first? Because
Yeah, we can't just give up on this planet and be like, yeah, we'll move to Mars, mess that up, and then move to another planet when it's capable of maintaining human life. Like it's a horrible thing that we're doing, and like it's that thing of humans never learn their lesson until it's like do or die times. Like with Black Lives Matter, everyone thought it was do or die times, which is why so many people were talking about that. And then it turned out it wasn't, and there wasn't going to be like a revolt and a revolution. And people were like, "Oh, okay, I can go on with my day being racist again, and it's not going to be that big of a deal."
It seemed like there was this period of time where people were all like becoming quote unquote woke, and were like, maybe things are kind of fucked up right now. And then I think after a while, they since they realized that there wasn't going to be like any crazy revolutions, they were like, they just went back to their old ways and tendencies. So like
the amount of messages,
Exactly.
the amount of messages that we got that were along the lines of, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea it was this bad." It's like, what are
Literally.
you talking about? You were a part of the problem. And it's like it gets to a point where you just think like people are saying this or apologizing or all of this just to save their own ass. Like you would say on transport, it's
Yeah.
like because the idea of sudden and dramatic change is scary. They don't want to be caught up in a group of people who get called out or canceled or whose lives get drastically affected because of the trashy things they did in the past. And it's like that actually brings me on to like something I was thinking about earlier with the whole heaven and hell thing. Because it's like even if these people decide to be like good or whatever or non-racist or even like active in change and transformation, it's like if you're doing that to escape damnation, is it even a good thing to begin with? Because it's like remember I don't know if we had this conversation or if I had it with someone else, but like the murder is a bad thing, right? But it's like depending on your intentions, it really can be nuanced. Because it's like if you were
you can justify murder in some cases.
Like if it was if you were killing someone for the sake of killing them, that's just homicide. But if you were protecting yourself, that's just self-defense. And if you just genuinely didn't want to do that, that is self-defense, and that comes into account. So it's like, yeah, you committed murder, but it didn't have any malicious intent. And it's like if you're and in that same type of train of thought, it's like if you're only doing good things to say get into heaven, do you even deserve to get into heaven? Because it's like, yeah, you did good things, but it wasn't out of your own.
Wow, it was to save you. It was for selfish. In the same way that when you murder someone, you're doing it for like selfish reasons, type of thing. That's kind of crazy to think about. Actually, I've never thought about that. Yeah, cause like wow, like people will can be in a situation where they're in like they're in contact with someone that they're not fond of or they don't like, but they'll be in the back of their heads. They'll be like, you have to think about the afterlife. You have to think about what comes later, and so I should probably be nice to this person, even though I really don't want to, just so I can save my own skin and go to heaven. That's kind of crazy. Wow, that's crazy to think about.
I guess isn't that like just the idea of like doing something good? Like I feel like for a lot of people, when they feel like they're doing something, maybe even if it's not like just to get into heaven, but for them, the idea of doing something good gives them like a certain level of satisfaction. Like, and is that in itself selfish, or is it like are you doing a good thing?
Nah, because there's sincerity in their actions and like genuineness, and like sometimes I'll be, you know how it is, bro. When you drive and you see homeless people, there's too many to give all your, like, you'd be on the street like in a couple of years if you gave every homeless person you saw money or food, right? But there'll be random days where you're like, you know what, I feel for these people, and you know, it's most well, let me say, sometimes it's not out of their own power that, or not out of their own decisions that they're here in this situation. And here I am in a better situation with money to spare, and I'm not like sparing any. So let me give to this person here, and like make their week or their month or their day. You know, just because you wanna help in any little way you can. Just like there'll be random times where you want to. You want to give do an act of sincerity, of generosity, you know, random act of kindness, whether it be holding the door open or something like that. And I don't think that's selfish, because it's not really. Sometimes it won't be like you're craving a feeling. Sometimes you can be, but sometimes you just want to do it to make someone's day, like because you care for another human being.
That's
you know?
a good point. But is it really? No. So I agree with what you're saying. But if you are like one of those people who do it for the sake of like feeling better about themselves, is that also still a selfish act?
I think that's like, it's fairly, I think that's like a fairly conceited thing to do, because it's like if you're getting, because I feel like it depends on like, so say for example you're doing it to feel better about yourself and to, you know, make yourself seem like a better person. I feel like that falls within the same WhatsApp group as like trying to get it.
Or even not even like that. Just chasing a feeling. So like you go home and you're like, wow, I really did that. I'm a really nice person, and you feel better about yourself. I think that's what Pierre is saying. So not necessarily for public image, but like chasing a feeling. I feel like it still falls under the same brackets.
Like you still get a sense of gratification within yourself, no matter like, even if you don't like vocalize it. But then I think if it's like, if you do it from the standpoint of like you want to be nice or respectful or helpful, just because you want to be, you know, not on like there's no I guess ulterior motive to it. Then I feel like I feel like it really just does depend on your intention that determines the, you know, not the gravity of the act or anything like that. It really just depends on why you're doing it.
It's like when I heard it was a minute ago. I think it was like 2 years ago, and I had heard it might have been Michael B. Jordan. It might not have been. I saw an article about him donating a bunch of money to charity in like October or something, and I was like, wow, that's a really nice act. Shout out to him. And then I saw another article talking about how there's tax benefits to celebrities donating a bunch of money before the end of the tax year. Because like something about like they don't get charged as much, because they get charged a lot of tax because of how much they earn. And it really like I sat there and thought, and I was like, this is a good act, but he's really only doing it so that he doesn't get charged as much tax and to make himself like to keep more money. And I'm like, is that, I can't tell, like I can't judge morality, if I'm being honest. There's so many different ways to look at things, but it's something you think about.
Bro. I guess it's one of those things where it's like it really is up to a higher power, and that's why I just think people just gotta get off other niggas' asses. If their life is not affecting you, then my eyes, bro, because it's like it really is not our place to say what is right and wrong and shit. Because it's like, who decided that? Honestly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just as long as, I feel like that's why like my philosophy on life is just do whatever the fuck you want to do, just as long as you doing that doesn't infringe on anybody else doing whatever the hell they want to do as well. As soon as like
Exactly.
it does, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I'm still cool to go to Mars though. Did you guys say you don't fuck with the idea of going to Mars?
It's no,
I don't mess with the idea of ditching Earth because we're too lazy to fix the environmental problems and issues. I'm cool with the idea of humans going to Mars. I don't think I'd ever go to Mars if we didn't need to. But I don't like the idea of us being like, well, Earth's done for. We've torn holes in the ozone layer. The Arctic ice caps have melted. Let's just go to Mars. Fix it while we still can.
I don't know. I low-key feel like we're in the long term. I think we're kind of fucked already. Like, I think there's, especially because the people in power, like the people that we have in power, I think they just don't care enough for us to ever be able to do like any reversible change to what we've already done. I think we're on a like, it's kind of nihilist. It's kind of like, I didn't even realize I was thinking like this, but I think we opened like Pandora's box, and it's like we're already on like a path to destruction. Even though maybe we might not see it in our immediate lifetime, but I don't know. I feel like we're already going down that hill. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been a thing of, it's very easy for, like Tshego always says, bro. There's like, it's such a simple, like if every billionaire in the world divided their net worth in half and used that towards like world hunger wouldn't exist. Poverty wouldn't exist. Like everyone, like there would be a way to make sure that everyone's eating good. But these niggas don't care, bro. They just don't care. They care about themselves.
Yeah.
And you can't change that in reality, because how are you gonna get to them and tell them, nigga, you could just, because they know this, bro. They've had, I'm sure they've had multiple people tell them, you have so much power, you have so much money, why don't you change the world?
and it's like,
And they just don't
I feel like
care.
it's one of those things that's like, because my pops was telling me this a while back. He was like, we always want to judge these celebrities and these millionaires and billionaires for, say, spending $20 million on a car, and we'll always be like, what a waste of money, I'd never do that. And it's like, and he said, basically said, nigga, you can't say that because you've never had $20 million, so you don't know what you do with it.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, bro, I feel like it's like one of those like trash boat, bro. It's like, well, trash boat, bro. You know how like in Attack on Titan they have that whole founding Titan ability. Where it's like, and one of the biggest questions is like, why didn't these niggas just leave the walls, right, when they could have? And it's like, only royalty knows why. And it might be that whole thing, like, I don't know, maybe once your net worth is 6 figures, you'll be like, and then at the same time, it's also like,
you soon as when you're on 999,999 and you get that 1 rand, you have that flash and your ancestry flashes before your eyes, and you just become a douchebag. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Like most of these rich people be acting the same,
that interview that Kanye did with Nick Cannon, where he was justifying why he needed to be a multi-billionaire, and he was like, if I'm a billionaire and I go to, he says something like Wendy's, and I order a chicken sandwich for like $5, I'm not a billionaire. And I'm like, nigga, what?
I remember him
That level
talking
of
about
logic,
that.
honestly, is
Oh my
That's
gosh.
right.
and it's like the nigga always tries to justify how rich he is. Remember on God, where he's like, "That's why I charge the prices that I charge." But it's I can't. He says something like, "I can't let my family starve." And it's like, nigga, if you were half your net worth, if you were a
Yeah.
quarter, if you were a tenth, even like 1/100th of what you're worth, your family would be eating so good still. So,
Oh, his wife can
bro,
Literally.
like there's his net worth and then there's still his wife's net worth. Like y'all
and
can
even the whole Kardashian,
Yeah, they're both essentially
literally, and even if
billionaires.
they both die, they got that whole Kardashian Jenner clan as well. Everybody, that family set, honestly.
Literally.
So Kanye being on some, I gotta charge these
Genuinely.
prices is some bullshit. But I don't know,
Being a cleaner in that house is making it that you're set for
bro.
life at that point.
And it's so crazy to me that like there are people who are just. It really shows that like birth and existence is a lottery because it's like it's either
Yeah,
essentially like
wow.
it's either you can be born like a Smith, like Will and Jaden, or a Kardashian, or even a prince or princess of England, or you could be born in the slums of
Yeah.
like India or the SA townships, some shit like that. You had no power over that,
Yeah.
and at that point, your life is essentially set.
And I don't think people acknowledge that
Bro,
factor enough, bro. Like 80% of these things come down to luck. It's not
facts,
even like there's so many Cristiano Ronaldos, there's so
bro.
many
It's not
Kanye Wests,
even.
there's
It's
so
not
many
us
Usain
saying that.
Bolts in
It's
the
not us
world.
saying luck, as in this shit spontaneously happened to you out of nowhere. Nah, you were in the right
Yeah,
place at the right time, and you just had favorable
exactly.
circumstances.
Mm.
And it's like without those
Literally.
circumstances, you would not have been where you're at. And it's like that's not to downplay your talent or anything like that. You know, it's just to acknowledge that you did not do this shit on your own. This whole concept of you being quote unquote self-made is don't give that shit. Don't prop it
Yeah.
up as if you came from absolutely nothing and like the circumstances that you were in didn't help to further your career in some way.
Exactly. Like no
Yeah.
billionaire is ever like 100% like self-made, you know?
Literally, there was some help somewhere down the line.
Like it goes back to like, and my brother always
Exactly.
reminds me, that's why my brother always reminds me that like you really gotta appreciate life in itself. Like the life you have, just because the chance that you're even alive like is so slim. Like it even goes back to like just I mean, you know, if you believe in the idea of the Big Bang Theory, it's like bruh, the chances that we were born into a world that just so happened to be the perfect, like in the perfect conditions for like life to exist, like being the correct distance that it is away from the sun that we can even like live, the correct gases need to have formed under the right amount of pressure at the exact amount of time for like, you know, the mass of the planet to even form.
Literally.
And like
I always see those videos, dude. Like, there's videos where it's like, if Earth was 1 kilometer closer to the sun, or if like the world had no oxygen for like 1 minute, like, and it's literally disaster movies. That's essentially what those things are. Like, we were birthed into a perfect environment,
Yeah.
and that's why that's like that emphasizes why I just hate that we abandon these things, like we take for granted these things and then just move on, like that whole
So like
monster.
even
that's
to
understandable.
bring it like a bit closer to home, it's like even you take into account niggas in our demographic, right? Because like the three of us know that if our parents had like done shit slightly different in their lives, or there was a misstep, or they didn't get lucky at some point, we really could have been living in a lot like a lot less favorable circumstances. Honestly, like we could have been
Exactly.
living in a township or rural setting or whatever it may be. And I feel like pretty much every like middle class teen in SA has that same reality. Where it's like, if your rents had misstepped anywhere, then shit could have been very different. And it's like, the chances that they're not is so slim, yet they happen. And that's just, I feel like that's why people just honestly just gotta be grateful for existing.
Yeah, we take that for granted, honestly. We really do. And it brings me to this example, Brad, as we wrap up, because I think it's been like an hour. It brings me to this, I think it was Steezy Kane, right? He was talking to some other YouTuber, and he was talking about how, like, unappreciative we get the more, like, with each generation. And he brought up the example of, like, imagine what the founders and like the most famous and well-known names in art history and like music history would have done with the resources we have now. Like, imagine Picasso and Michelangelo had iPads and Apple pens. Like, they would have revolutionized art, like, as we know it, bro. And imagine like Beethoven had access to, like, the stuff we have now. It would have been a different world we would have been seeing.
Would they have? Because the thing is, if they grew up in a world where that's normal, they wouldn't really have, like, it wouldn't have been that deep. So is it a thing of, like, they get transported to this world where they have all those resources? Because then they'd be thankful for it. But if they grew up like us, and that's just the norm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine it, like, because that's the way we should be looking at it. Like, this is a supercomputer the size of my hand in my hand.
That, bro. Honestly, I could fuck smartphones, bro. Like basic shit. The fact that I can flush a toilet, nigga. Thank goodness for that. Because imagine,
bro,
they go.
The fact that there's light switches, I don't have to hunt. I don't have to worry about gnats and like all these things coming into my tent or my cave.
Yeah,
Literally.
but I mean, we also have other problems. Like, I mean, not to what's the word? Like, to bring down like civilization and like the amount of progress that we've made, but we also have a lot more issues because of like the fact that we have like, I know our generation is like the most depressed generation there is, just, and like we're all, I think our levels of like, I was reading somewhere, or I think my brother told me, but he was like, our level of anxiety is like the same level as those of mental patients in like not the 90s, like the 40s maybe, or the 50s, something like that. Like, it's of the same level. Like, back then they had a reason to be as like anxious and stressed out and depressed as they were back then. But like with us, with the invention of social media, constantly like comparing yourself to other people, like, and it's not like just when you do it one time. Like, we've had phones since we were like 11, in like the peak of our development. Like, our brains were still developing.
Yeah,
yeah. I feel
just,
that.
It's a lot. Like, we really don't need, especially for the age we're at. Like, I know kids who have heart problems right now because of like anxiety and like stress, and they're like only 20. They're in their 20s, and when they really don't need that level of stress.
But hey, bro, I feel like we'll save like anxiety and depression and mental illness in general for the next episode. Honestly, that's its own conversation.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. I didn't even get to talk about like the topic that I actually had in my head. But hey, that's exactly
that's exactly
what this podcast.
I was thinking about that. I was like, yo, didn't Tshego have like a whole list of things he was going to talk about, and we just went off directly.
Yeah, we didn't even consult you about what you had scheduled and planned.
Yeah, but that's what I was supposed to play.
Exactly. But yeah, man, close this out.
Me.
Yeah,
Alright,
you
nigga.
brought us in. I'll do it next time. We'll swap every episode. Did we even introduce ourselves?
Shit, we didn't even
We
introduce
didn't.
names.
I'm trash, but the nigga in the middle. Pierre's on the right, and Tsecho's on the left side. If you made it this far, then you get to know which one is who. But if not, that's tough.
It's been like just some of the realest niggas just speaking their shit, and hope you check out the next one if there is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.